Hello, and welcome to Through the Veil, where we get together to share stories and remember the wisdom that has always belonged to us. I'm Melissa Cameron, and this week I'm having a conversation with Justyna, who's sharing her two birth stories. First one in the hospital, and a second one, a reclamation, and a beautiful home birth. Enjoy. Hi, Justyna. How are you?
Hi. Excited
Yeah.
and stressed a little bit in the same time. Because yeah, English is my second language, so it's more challenging. But I am very happy to be here and that I have this opportunity to share my birth story, which was
Yeah.
very important for me and I feel deep in my heart that we need to do that because um, I decided to my second birth to look like it was because I heard amazing birth story during my pregnancy. Uh, it was
Oh,
very
yeah.
inspiring for me and show me that it can be different. It can be um, more sacral, more connected with my body, with my um, emotions, and you know, just
Mm-hmm.
just be part of me, not
Yeah.
medical assistance. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well, start us at the beginning.
yeah. I'm just trying to think where was the beginning, and I think the beginning was when I saw on my pregnancy test that I am in my first pregnancy with my son. Now he's 5.5 years old. Mm, so it has been for a while. And I remember that I was very happy because I waited for this child in my belly, and yeah, I was excited, but in the same time, I totally didn't know how it should look like. I haven't too many women in pregnant around me. Like I felt a bit alone, and
Mm-hmm.
mm, and I realized that I didn't have much experience, like in my when I started to be a woman, I didn't have many small babies around. I have an idea how how I should take care of babies. Mm. So it was new adventure, totally new adventure for me, and new experience. And uh, the good way, the good. Mm, I found but in the same time, some of my friends started to get pregnant as well. So finally, I wasn't alone. But mm, so we could, chat about our feelings, how our body react. But I think for me, very challenging was that um, I didn't have support of my mother, and I struggled a lot that because when I was a kid, my mother passed away, and um, and in deep of me, I felt that I don't know, that I don't have this connection. So I really wanted to find this connection with my mother inside of me. You know what I mean? This part of me.
Yes.
And yeah, I found a very good doctor then. It was opinion of my friend. Uh, because yeah, I just would like to add that this pregnancy was in Poland, so there is a bit different rules. In Poland, pregnant women are take care of them. Okay, uh, how it's called here, gynecologist. They are taking care of pregnant woman, and
Yeah.
um,
It was very medicalized.
yes, exactly. The midwife you can meet just during the labor in the hospital.
Oh, okay. So they
Yeah,
work for,
for
is it
hospital.
public medical there?
Yes,
Okay, so they work for the hospital and
yes,
it's not like you have a relationship with them.
exactly, exactly. And this is your first meeting. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can find, for example, workshop for when you can prepare yourself for a labor, and these workshops are running by midwives. So you can meet them there, and if you know in which hospitals you will have a birth, um, yeah, you can meet some of them there. But yeah, I love here in Canada that you can have this midwife during whole pregnancy. It's amazing because you can,
Yeah.
if you choose this path, you can have this connection with her, and it's very supportive, in my opinion, of course.
It's the
Yeah.
best. I agree. It's called the continuity of care model. And I've heard some midwives complain that it's not complain, but like say that it's leading to burnout in a lot of the midwives
Oh.
because it's so much on call and so much, and probably like I think there's definitely other pieces leading to burnout in midwives, but it's such a beautiful thing when you form that relationship
Yeah.
over your whole pregnancy with the midwife. And I feel like as a pregnant woman who declined all of the medical interventions from my midwives, what I really wanted was that relationship with them. I actually just wanted to go and meet with them and form a relationship to then with the plan at the time of then bringing them to my birth with somebody I knew and trusted and where we had a connection.
Exactly. It makes totally sense, and now I see that. Mm, yeah, but in Poland they have a different idea for. I think they need to change a lot. But for example,
So can you hire a private midwife?
yes, you can hire, and I did that because I follow my friends' advices, and I I count that I thought that I can count on her more during the labor, but it was totally different. Yeah, so I had my doctor during my pregnancy, and he was, oh, I don't know, it was even when I'm thinking about it now, it's I don't understand it how it looked like, but this doctor was very. Um, he has a lot of fears, and he put these fears on me. My pregnancy was very good. I have a very short cervix, so this is one thing he was worried about, but it was more worried than he should be.
Right, because it's normal.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
sometimes, of course, you can, there is some cases when a woman have a bit, you know, too early birth, but in my case was different, and I think this is my biology. This is my body. It looks like that, and
Yeah.
but he had a lot of fears. And I tried to be very calm, but I think on another layer, I accumulate this stress all the time. And I tried to be,
Yeah.
like above it. And I didn't want to resonate with this fear. But on the end of the pregnancy, I felt like my body is, tired of this fear. I really wanted to just, you know, welcome my son on this world because, yeah. And I think last month of my pregnancy, it was the craziest because my son was, it was very medicalized. So I had a lot of ultrasound, and uh, the doctor, in his opinion, the baby was too small. So he was worried that he will be, I don't know, sick somehow, or too weak. And so he told me that I need to do this. I think it's called in Canada non-stress. Hmm.
Non-stress
Yeah,
test.
non-stress test, and I need to do that every 3 days. Yeah, and it was crazy, and of course everything was fine. And deep, deep inside of me, I felt it is everything fine. But in that time, I was very, it was new for me, and I didn't know how to feel, how I can do. I didn't have this whole knowledge about the birth. I tried to prepare myself somehow, but now I know that it was not enough. I should prepare myself more read, maybe more um, talk with another woman, or just do searching. Yeah, but again, this experience allowed me to do that in my second pregnancy. So this is good part of this
All part of the
story. Yeah,
journey.
exactly. And when I was 38 week, my water breakdown, and I started feel sensations, and I remember that it was very surprising for me that it was very painful for me, um, and I was shocked. And yeah, and I think in the same time I had huge adrenaline in my body, and I couldn't release this tension. I tried to breathe, but I I couldn't, you know, um, I couldn't do good breath work to, calm this sensation a bit. I was just in this tension, and after a couple of hours, I took a warm bath, mm, and I waited for a action. And after a couple of hours of these sensations, which were very often and very strong for me, we go to the hospital. We called our midwife in the same time, so she came, and she checked my uh, dilation,
Dilation.
dilation, and she told me. I remember that she told me, "Oh no, it's nothing. Why are you here? You should be at home." and
Worst.
and um, she connect me to this machine which is checking the heart of the baby,
Yeah.
and she wanted to check our sensation, my sensation too. And I remember that she told me there is no sensation at all. But in the same time, during this test, it was 15-minute test, I felt few of them, and
Mm.
it was, I felt like, what? I don't know what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I was,
Can't trust your
yeah,
body.
exactly. And
Mhm.
I received this message from her, and in the same time, I talked with my partner that I don't understand. I was so confused, and I felt so alone. And I think my partner as well. He didn't know what to do,
Mm.
how to help me. I think he was surprised of all of this as well. And this whole hospital environment wasn't welcoming for me. It was like I didn't feel there comfortable. This
Mm.
light, these walls, um, these people who were talking with each other, and my midwife, who I thought he will help me somehow during this, mm, during this labor, but um, she was sitting with her colleague and just drink a tea, and I was in another room, and I didn't know how to help myself to, just calm down. So it was like, it was
Mm.
very chaotic. And for me, it was very difficult to release control because um, it's interesting. Because I know that we need to release control during the labor, but uh, in this situation, I felt that this control was taken from
Yeah.
me. So um, yeah, so I
Hmm.
tried to, find myself in this situation, and yeah, I was in chaos, of course, for sure.
Yeah.
So
That's the moment I think, like when you need the wise woman
exactly.
to come in, right? It's not like she's going to change your sensations.
Hmm.
Like just to speak back your power to you that it's normal and it's okay and you're doing it. And this is it. Like, especially
Yeah,
on a first baby,
yeah,
like maybe after a while, it feels okay to you be your own wise woman. But the first time, there's something, right? Where like you shouldn't be, I mean, unless you want to be alone, you should be alone. But, you
yes,
shouldn't have to be alone.
yeah, exactly. I feel it. I feel it very deeply when you are saying that.
Hmm.
I wanted wise woman, and I thought
Hmm.
she is her, but
Yeah.
um, she was, she was in system, and she did her best, and I know that
Hmm.
she's good medical midwife,
Hmm.
um, but she can't support emotionally and just support. Um,
Yes.
so
Like hold space
yeah,
for what's happening.
yeah,
She didn't have that.
yeah, exactly, exactly, and so it was uh, the funny part of this labor was funny and sad in the same time, was that at the end they told me she and mm, there was, I think, two doctors during the labor as well. So in the whole, in the room was, I think, 3 or 4 person, and I even didn't know when they came, uh, because it was quite fast. I think it took 4 hours whole, whole labor in a hospital. So yeah,
That's very fast.
yes, uh,
First baby,
yeah,
that's very
maybe
fast.
5. Yeah, it was fast, and at the end they told me that it was very good labor, like, but I should be proud of it, and
Mm-hmm.
and I was confused again because I didn't feel it at all. I felt like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, what happened? And I think the stress was so high for me, and this chaos and this feeling. I felt like a small baby, not a woman who is giving a birth. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was confused again, and I remember that when on the last part of giving birth, in the third stage, um, I have this um, big pushing sensation, and the head was in my mm, cervix. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and my midwife told me, "Look, he's here. You can touch his head." And I told her I don't want to. I just want to finish it. I have this huge urge that I need to finish this life, and it's very, very sad for me when I'm saying that, because it should be beautiful experience, not
Mm-hmm.
not like that. And mm, yeah, and during this third stage, I remember that some kind of intern came and asked if she can be present, and I told them that I don't want more person. There was a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I remember that she repeat my repeat myself, but
Mm-hmm.
she stayed. It was
Oh
like
my
with
gosh.
smile on her face. No, she doesn't want you here, but she stayed there, and yeah. So
Mm.
many boundaries was
Yeah.
um, crossed during this labor,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then she told me that I need to wait one sensation, and it was difficult too, because when
Yeah.
you are feeling this pressure and you need to do that. She told me to hold it, and another sensation, Theo was born, and I remember his small body and this his warm small body on my
Mm.
chest, um, and I wanted I wanted to be very happy, but in the same time, part of me was, I think, broken somehow. So
Mm. Mm-hmm.
this joy was not fully, and
Mm.
yeah, my partner came because during the labor he was he almost passed off. It's correct word.
Oh, yeah. Passed
Fall,
out?
yeah,
Fainted?
passed out. Yeah, because I think it was too much for him as well. He's very sensitive, and his emotion. He's very good empath, so he tried to
Mm.
help me somehow, but he couldn't, and I think he resonated with me too much. So I asked him to leave
Yeah.
because I couldn't focus on the last stage,
Mm.
and when he left, yeah, I could go further.
Mm.
So he came, and he told me that when he saw Theo first time, he just fall in love. And it was so beautiful to hear that it's very deep and emotional for our partners as well. So
Hmm.
yeah, and
Yeah, because they have a
mhm,
role in birth too. Like our
mhm,
partners have a role in birth. They're really, I think, the space holder, right? And they're there
mhm,
to protect their partner
mhm,
and so that you don't have to worry about that. And
yeah,
often in a hospital setting or even well-intentioned attendance of any kind in your home, this can happen, but they take the role of the partner, right? Like it's gone, he
mhm,
can't do that because other people, he's watching you be scared and violated and say no, and things happen to you anyway. And in our culture, like our partners, men don't know that that is their role and that they can be the one to step in and be like, she said no,
yeah,
we're all done, right? Because there's so much fear around birth
mhm,
and a God complex with doctors where
yeah,
they know better. If they say it has to be this way, if the med student has to be in, they have to be in. Um, yeah, and I think that from stories I've heard from men, that feels in the way that women feel violated in birth sometimes, like
mhm,
it was taken from them. Men feel that too, but
yeah,
then have no container for it or no one just like, why do I feel this way? It didn't even happen to me. It just happened to her. It did happen to you. It's a birth of a family. And when your role is totally stolen, and you don't even know it, yeah, it's a divine rite of passage that was intervened upon by other people. And I can see how that results in trauma for both people.
yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that, and I think it was our story. It's just good example. Uh, what
Mm-hmm.
did you say? And mm, he felt he felt that, and yeah, and I think it was difficult for him, very difficult, that he couldn't do like said holding the space and take care of me somehow. Um, yeah, and I remember that I needed to stay in hospital for 2 days, and it was the worst time for me. Um, I remember that I cried whole day. Really, I cried whole day, and I didn't know why. And now I know. I think I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to release this whole stress which accumulate in my body.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, but I think I don't know how to say that. I just because it's difficult, because I think that this situation and this whole story impact somehow my motherhood.
Yeah.
And at the beginning it was very struggling. I i was so scared of being mother,
Mm-hmm.
and I was scared that I can't take care of my baby, that I can't help to calm him down when he's crying, that I am doing something wrong. I didn't trust myself, and I think it took 1 year at least, maybe longer. I
Mm-hmm.
when I didn't feel it like that then, because I was in this, stress mode. But but after this 1 year, maybe 1.5, I started to realize what was happened, and how I am reacting for my baby. Like, my body is in stress when he's crying, or yeah. And then when he was 2, we moved to Canada, and to start new journey and new adventure. And um, my partner got a job here, so uh, So we had this convenient situation that he started to work, and I have time for myself a bit. I still worked with Polish because I'm counselor. So I still worked with my Polish clients via online. It was during pandemic, so in this time was everything possible. Um, yeah, and we started to think about another baby. Everything was new for me here, so I started to do some um, searching and find out how it looks like here. And um, I think I received some information from, I think she's doula here, but it was online. So she explained me that here we have midwives and we have doctors as well, but you can choose. And home birth is possible if it's up to you. Mm,
Do people home birth in Poland? Is that a common thing?
it's very rare, and you need to
Mm.
pay for that. It's like,
Right. So you get like a private midwife to come to your home?
yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes, and it's much more expensive than private midwife in hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
like triple of this amount, or
Wow.
maybe even more. Yeah. So
Hmm.
I think it's a lot, and I think more women
Hmm.
could just do that if it will be free, like here.
Hmm.
And yeah, so here is more accessible, and but at the beginning I wasn't ready for home birth. I didn't feel that I have this power. After this
Hmm.
experience,
Hmm.
I still didn't trust myself, and but I have this readiness and this need that I need to heal it. Um, yeah, so my journey started again, and I found a midwife. Um, she, I think she took me because I chose the hospital birth. So she didn't
Hmm.
know, me neither. We didn't know that
Hmm.
this journey will end differently, but yeah, but she was. It was interesting for me because she was totally different than my first doctor. She was very open. She was very careful. I think she's very Canadian. Like, I don't need to push you anyway. And she was very gentle. I like that it's not so many ultrasound during the pregnancy, and you can decide if you want it or not. In Poland, they are more strict, and you need to do that. And it's less field for talking about it. So
Hmm.
it's more pressure. Here I experienced, for me, of course, this experience was better, and and I think this part was healing for me as well. That I can have,
Hmm.
this authority, um,
Hmm.
different. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and during this, I think it started in April. Yeah, I think in April I figured out that I am pregnant, and yeah, and month after month I tried to prepare myself somehow. I did some research as I talked with some women, and suddenly I found a group on the Facebook, Free Birth, and
Mm.
they it was um, they uh, they organized some kind of circle, but it was in a park
Mm.
and with potluck, and it was, it was first experience for me like that. And uh, I cook I cooked soup, lentil soup, and brought with myself and tried to find them um, in this park. And I am very open person, and I love to hear another stories. So I sit there and just told about a bit about myself and just listen. And I was impressed that birth can look differently. And I first time in my life I heard about free birth. So when
Mm.
take this my experience and free birth experience put together, it was like totally two different world. And I was oh my gosh, how it's possible. And I was surprised. And yeah, I remember that I was in shock, you know
Mhm.
and I think I didn't know what to think about it. I was so confused. And I don't know, it was funny because I came back to my home, and I told about it my partner, and he was in shock as well. Oh, they are not scared about it. Oh, they are doing it by themselves. And I think this reaction after my experience is totally normal because they
Yeah.
in my experience they took my whole power. And
Mhm.
so I was powerless. And in this free birth, I it was they are so strong and wise, and they can do it by themselves. And yeah.
The crazy thing is when you have a birth like that, and I had a birth like that, where
Hmm.
your power is totally taken, is like
Hmm.
I didn't know that's what happened at the time. I
Hmm.
thought birth traumatized me and they saved me. Right. And then I went with that story for a long time until I was encountered by a different story. And through lots of processing, came to realize it wasn't birth that was traumatizing. It was my power being taken from me in that scenario. And then, right, and then leaving me feeling like I'm incapable of this. I need to be saved from this. And if I were to ever have a child again, I would continue to need saving, and I would have to just like close my eyes to the trauma of birth because it's so awful. And that's not actually it. Like free birth blows it wide open. Like it's a
Hmm.
different thing. The story in my head isn't what happened. It's
Yeah.
not that way.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly like you said. Like in my situation, right? They told me that it was beautiful birth, and I felt
Mm-hmm.
totally different because my power was taken. So yeah, so I think this is the clue. But this meeting shows me different world and different possibilities, and I stayed in touch with them. I started to participate these online circles as well. I started to prepare myself to do it totally different. I started to meet with craniosacral therapist,
Mm.
and she helped me a lot as well. She tried to. I think she helped me somehow to heal my first birth.
Mm-hmm.
We have this journey when I could
Mm-hmm.
do it differently. And yeah, so it was very helpful. And she is very wise woman. And so this is what I needed in my pregnancy journey. Um, yeah, and and in this one of those circles, I heard amazing free birth story, and it was so
Mm.
inspiring. And I decided to hire a doula, and she it was the same person. Her birth story was so inspired that I decided to work with
Mm.
her, and she had that space for me. And it was late because I think it was 7th month of pregnant, so I
Mm.
didn't have. I think if I will have more time for this preparation, I don't know. Never mind. I had time like I had. So I started prepare myself more and more. I did a hypnobirth workshop as well
Mm.
because I wanted to work with my body more
Mhm.
and find some techniques to release this tension and just you know you know work
Mhm.
um, with myself,
Mhm.
don't fight with myself. And yeah, and during this preparation, this door for home birth was opened. And
Mm.
um, for my partner as well, he was very supportive, um, and like he said at the beginning, it was he couldn't think even about home birth after this, podcasts and movies and stories
Mm.
and knowledge, of course. He realized too that it's so important to have this supportive environment to having beautiful birth. And
Mm.
yeah, so it was beautiful to have him in my team. Mm,
Mhm.
so I convinced, maybe not convinced, I just told my midwife that I won't have a home birth, and she agreed. Then after a couple of weeks, I told her that I want hands-free birth,
Mm.
and she wasn't happy, but she agreed. I think she hadn't a choice because it was so late in my pregnancy, and
Mhm.
she wanted to leave me alone. Mm, and yeah, when I was 38 weeks of pregnancy, I think I had very bad infection. I thought it's COVID, but it wasn't. It was very, very, very bad infection. And
Mhm.
I have this gut that my daughter can came this because my son was born earlier, so I thought she will be
Mhm.
born
Yeah.
earlier as well. And even during my pregnancy path, someone told me some kind, I think, energy healer. She told me that she's very strong and she came earlier.
Mhm.
Um, so I have this,
Mhm.
this thought in my mind. So when I was I have this infection, I asked her, "Don't do that because I am not enough. I am not in fully of my strength, and
Mhm.
I don't want to do that now. I need to recover after my infection."
Mhm.
And I think she listened to me because
Mhm.
she didn't came. And another reason why I thought she can came earlier, I have a lot of this prognostic construction. I don't know its correct word. this contraction which you have during pregnancy.
Oh, like Braxton
Braxton
Hicks?
Hicks. Yeah.
Like early kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
An irritable uterus, they call it sometimes.
Yeah. Yes. So I had them many on last weeks.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but she didn't came, and after well, and then past 40 weeks and 41, and when for
Ooh.
yeah 41 weeks um just finished, I freaked off. I you know I doubted in myself again, and
Mm.
these old fears came back, and I didn't know what's happening, and my midwife told me, "Oh, you need to go to maybe no. I'm welcoming you for a non-stress test," and and I knew that I didn't want to do that because because not and because
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessary. Yeah, but in the same time, I was my mood and emotions, everything goes down. And then mm, my craniosacral therapist came to our home, and because my partner called her, and she just talked with me and support me, and we did small meditation, and she did a small massage of my body. So I released my fears, I relaxed more, and
Mm.
felt calm down again. And it was beautiful because, again, this wise woman support me. So, so another day, um, it was 31 weeks and 1 day. um, it was Sunday morning. I started, to clean everything, cooked a lot. I baked chocolate red bean chocolate cake. Uh, just for us.
Mm-hmm.
um, I
A
couldn't.
birthday cake.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't find place for myself. It just everything wasn't. I think I started to prepare my nest, like for birth nest, and on the evening we watched a movie with husband, of course too late than we should. So we went to bed, I think around midnight, and I laid down in my bed, and heard a click, and my water broke.
Mm.
So a lot of water mm, came from me, and in the same time, I told my husband, "Oops, my water broke," and he told me, "Oh no, I didn't sleep, and I am so tired." And so he was so pissed off that we watched this movie so late, and he didn't rest enough, and I focused, but who will have this labor? So
Yeah.
yeah, so it was so funny. And okay, but I said to him, okay, just um, go to bed and try to sleep. We will see. We will see how it will go. And yeah, and I fall asleep. He falls asleep too, and I think I slept whole night. I had sensations during the night, and I just wake up, breath, and you know mm, fall asleep again. So it was like on and off, on and off. But the yeah, the sensation was more intense around 7 and I needed to wake up. So I had this 7 hours sleep and it was amazing. And of course
Yeah.
I talked with my daughter in my belly too that I need to sleep, please. Wait a bit. So I don't know, maybe it was my asking, maybe yeah, I think our bodies are smart, right? So they know
Yes.
that they need a rest a bit before this whole big work. Mm, so around 7 we ate the breakfast and the contractions started to intensify, and so I started bouncing on the ball and listen my music and breathe. And I think it was like 2 hours around. And after that, but when I started to feel that it's not helping enough, I go to my bathroom and took very warm shower. And I spent under this shower another 2 hours. So it wasn't quick shower, but very helpful. And it was amazing time there because the light was off, and uh, my partner light the candle, mm, and he leave me alone, and I was in like you know like very um, primal woman in a cave who is in this birth giving process, and it was amazing. It was just me, my daughter, my body, and I think I never experienced in my life something like that. I was fully connected, and mm, and during this time I was do a mantra that I am opening more. I am opening more with each sensation. I am opening more. Um, and I sang the song in the meantime. I don't know if you know that it's I release control. It's
Oh,
on the
yes.
Spotify. Yeah, I love this song, and it was
Yeah,
my like
I had that on my birth playlist.
oh yeah. So I sang this song and just be with me. I realized during this time that I put that new fear in my head. Um, Before, because I read a lot of home birth stories, but not just home birth. And before this birth, I read a story from a woman who was it was she took this hypnobirth workshop as well. Sorry. And she had her own labor, and on the last stage the midwife told her that don't push because your dilation it's not enough, it's like 9 not 10,
Oh, yeah.
and don't push because you can tear yourself a lot inside. And I don't know why, it's our minds are so funny and minds, and they are taking what they want, and after after time you are realize, oh, why it this story is in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt this fear that my dilation is not enough and I can tear there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was beautiful time and struggling in the same time. Like, my mind, um, yeah, it was like a task for me to not
Mm-hmm.
following it. And and I felt sensation are more intense and more intense, and I felt how like head of my daughter it's banging against my pelvis. Like she tried
Mm-hmm.
to find a way, but she couldn't um, you know be in the right place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have this feeling that I can have this birth in this bathtub under the shower by myself, or I can go because in the meantime my doula came and she do this pool and filled it with water and asked me if I want to go to the pool or not. And yeah, so I talked with myself what I want. Mm. And I have this big feeling that I want to go to the pool and have this experience with my partner. I really feel felt that I need to engage him in this part.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that. And in the same time, my midwife came. So my partner, and now she had this role, what you said before, and he took care
Mm-hmm.
of my space, and
Mm-hmm.
he was amazing with this job because I really felt that I have this my space. I was in my bubble all the time, no one bothering me. Mm, even when I went to the pool, um, and someone started to be more, noisy, he shushed them and
Mm-hmm.
asked for a quiet, and it was, he was like my knight, and
Mm-hmm.
on the horse, and um, and it was last stage of my labor, and it was again like about 2 hours or so, and sensation calmed down a bit in the pool, so the water was helpful, um, and they started to be more rare, so I could rest a bit, but between them once I even had a small nap between. I think it was like for for a second,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and my son was present during this birth. We asked him if he wanted to go to the daycare or he wanted to stay with us. So he stayed with us, and he had amazing time with our doula because I was, I was in my bubble, birth bubble,
Mm-hmm.
and my partner was with me, holding my hand and just hugging me, and it was beautiful. I felt amazing connection with him, and it was another level of intimacy between us. Um, yeah, it's like spiritual connection. It's not just connection. It's something more. It's so hard to explain that, but you feel it.
Yeah,
I feel
so
it.
sacred.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So so he was with me, and I still have this feeling that I am trying to, welcome her on this world. In the same time, I was this fear that the dilation wasn't enough all the time, but I didn't want to check it because I didn't want to, um, and mm, yeah, and I felt this very, very, very intensive sensation, like pushing sensation. But in the same time, I think she wasn't in the right place, and mm, and I looked at my midwife, uh, and uh, I think she asked me if she can check the baby pulse, uh, and I agree with that because it wasn't an issue for me. And she told me maybe you could change the position because I was on my knees and laying down on the pool, something like that. And she told me that maybe I could one leg. Uh, oh, it's so difficult to describe it. you know,
Yeah, is it almost like kneeling, like one one leg up,
yes.
one down, like a proposal,
Yes,
like a wedding proposal?
yes, exactly, exactly, like a proposal. And it's funny because a couple days before I listened Wapio podcast, and she
Yes,
told
I was
in
just
this
thinking of that.
podcast that it's the most common birth position, that it's very convenient for women's, and when I was in a bathtub under the shower, I have this thought that I should do that, but I forgot after this time. It's funny how
Yeah.
everything has a meaning, and I did that, and another sensation came, and it was super strong and super intense, and I was during this stage I was um I I made a lot of sounds, like very wild sounds, and it was almost like howling to the full moon. And after this sensation, the head was out of my daughter, so it was just one push. And my midwife was, oh, check the neck if the cord is
Oh, Lord.
around. And it was yeah, I think it's I am smiling, I am laughing because it's funny how the hormones are working during this
Yeah.
birth, because I was joking, oh, I'm feeling ears, I'm feeling nose, lips, hairs, but I don't feel a cord. I because I couldn't I couldn't touch it. It was a silly question
Yeah.
about this cord,
Yeah, so
and
not the time.
yeah, and I needed wait a bit, and another sensation came, and it was like whole energy came from the world and went through me, and she was born.
Wow.
Yeah, and she came to the water. I catch her, And I think, of course, in the midwife find this cord and put out of her neck. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was because I read in the book that it's quite normal. More that a lot of kids have this cord around neck because it's uh, because of rotating on the belly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, and she came and we was crying and Theo came to us and um, yeah, we were, you know, touched and joy filled us. It's it's unscribable. I can't
Mm-hmm.
describe it. It was beautiful, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we was filled with love and gratitude and everything amazing feelings what you can feel. Mm, yeah, and after I spent think a while in this pool, but then I wanted to go out to the bed, and I started to have sensations again, and it was surprising for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I wasn't happy that I am feeling them because that they were pretty intense and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I think it took maybe around hour or so, maybe around
Mm-hmm.
and a half, and I couldn't. Maybe I know it, every woman has our own process, but I really want to deliver placenta, but I couldn't, and I tried to the same position like Helena was born. I tried to, you know, changing this position, and then I tried to go to the uh, bathroom, washroom,
Mm-hmm.
and do a pee. But it was so difficult. I think my bladder was too big to allow this
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
placenta go out. So
Mm-hmm.
I pull gently. I pull gently the cord because it was funny because on my one hand was Helena, the other hand I
Mm-hmm.
was like the position was
Yeah.
super
Awkward.
tricky, yeah, and I pulled a little bit my cord and plus because I felt somehow, but I think it was she wasn't the placenta wasn't attached,
Mm-hmm.
so she it's like blocked somehow. So
Mm-hmm.
I pull it and it was very gentle, but in the same time I couldn't, just take it
Mm-hmm.
from my body. Yeah, and yeah, but I know that I yeah, it was this part was very surprising for me because I think I didn't prepare well myself for this stage
Mm-hmm.
because on in my first birth it was very fast because I didn't mention it before. I decided to for small amount of epidural on and in my first birth, and in the same time they gave me oxytocin, like they are
Mm-hmm.
usually do. So the placenta
Yeah.
came out very fast.
Yeah, and
Then
I feel like in a hospital, it's like you're not even part of it,
yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
It was
I
a
don't even remember my
yeah,
hospital birth
yeah,
placenta. Like, they just get this injection in your thigh that I don't even remember. I know what happened, and they just pull it out.
yeah.
It's done.
Yes,
Like you're
exactly.
not part of the birth of the placenta.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
the placenta. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it was very surprising for me in this birth that, oh, okay, we have something more to do. Um, yeah, and yeah, but everything
Mm-hmm.
came off, and everything was good. Midwife checked the placenta, and we waited mm, a lot of time when cord will be, very wide to cut it. So my partner um, did that, mm, and I am happy that he did that because he didn't that with my son, but he wanted, but in this whole chaotic situation. Mm,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm happy that he could, you know, do did that. It is like symbolic, mm,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and you
How
know,
was your postpartum experience this time with the second
oh
baby?
yeah, totally different. The best part was that
Mm-hmm.
whole week for a whole week, I just resting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Mm-hmm.
decide because I have a small tear. Mm,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't decide for a stitches because
Yeah, because that'll
I
heal naturally.
yes, because
Mm.
I had small tear with my son as well because he was born with a hand on
Oh,
on her head.
the nuchal hand.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So and then I decided to stitches, and mm, yeah, and it was traumatic too because my midwife
Mm-hmm.
she didn't give me the
Like the freezing.
yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for
Yeah.
helping me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
any freezing, anything. She just do
Mm.
it.
Oh man.
She just did that, and she yeah, it was. Now I think it was very sexist, but she told me that, oh, okay, I can do one more because Marek will be happy.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I've heard that.
right.
A husband stitch. That's
Yeah, yeah,
disgusting.
it
Yeah.
is. It is, and
Yeah.
yeah, I felt like, okay, but it's my body, right?
Yeah.
So why?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so now I didn't decide that for that, and one doula she gave me advice about Hanukkah Hanei,
Oh
Manuka
yeah.
Hanei,
Mm-hmm.
and um, algas, algas, nori, this.
Oh yeah, seaweed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seaweed.
yeah.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Manuka honey and seaweed.
Yeah,
I've heard
and
that.
I did that for my tears, and it was amazing. They healed
Mm.
so fast, and I even I I didn't feel any pain even. But when I had these stitches, I felt a lot of pain af-
Mm-hmm.
during these days. So it was better decision,
Mm. Yeah.
and it's showing how we can reheal naturally, and
Mm.
it's much better for our body than medical, of course, if it's not needed, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and postpartum was very good time for me. I was happy. Um, I rest a lot. um, I have this feeling of satisfaction in me, and it was
Mm.
very nice to feel that. And yeah, I was calm. I was, of course, I think. each postpartum, with each postpartum, come new fears because our
Mm-hmm.
role is changing again, right? I died like a mom of
Mm-hmm.
one kid. I born like a mom
Mm-hmm.
of two, and it was
Yes.
new role, new life,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I had this thought about, okay, how it will be for me, how it will be for my son, how it will be for our family. But now is we are four, not three, and yeah. But I was much more confident and trust
Mm-hmm.
for myself, and yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like you could find the mother inside of you,
Hmm.
like you said at the beginning.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for sure,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
And I'm drinking tea with this motto on the paper, and I have we can always start again, right? So
Yeah.
it's so adequate because I think each birth it's new start, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all fresh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you for sharing your stories.
Thank you for this
I love it.
opportunity.
Yeah. It was wonderful. Thanks for listening. New episodes are released every Tuesday. You can submit your story through the link in the show notes or connect with us on Instagram, link in the show notes as well. Follow, subscribe, share, write us a fabulous review. These are all great ways to be part of the movement toward more powerful and peaceful births. Until next time.